Hey, what's going on? How's the game? Monday up in here, man. Hope your weekend was great. Mine was all right. Can't complain. Got to hang out in Mesquite at one of our advertisers, Fit and Hyundai, and was there for a couple of hours and met this wonderful woman who was excited because she was getting a new car and she was happy about that. And it's like when you get ready to buy a car, it's like you'll like skip lunch. You'll just do a lot of things as long as that car, you get the keys to the car, anything can happen. You'll devote the whole day, the entire day to buying a car if it's the right one and you really need it. So congratulations to her. And that was my weekend basically. So see where we are here. Agnes, how are you in Niagara Falls? How's that going? Johnny May's in the house. How you doing? Hope everything's going good for you too on this Monday. Got some tea for you. Thought I'd share with you. Bill Cosby's daughter, if you haven't heard, his daughter Ensa passed away this past Friday from kidney disease. She was only 44 years old. Bill Cosby's due back to court in about a week for all those allegations that have been levied against him, or at least for some of them. He'll be in court. But you remember Bill lost his son, Ennis, his only son, back in 1997. He was murdered. The tea is hot on the Martin reboot. Everybody's been talking about the Martin reboot. Is it going to happen? It's going to happen. Word is, Carl Anthony Payne says it's going to happen. But how are they going to deal with Tommy? Tommy Ford passed away, and how will they deal with him? Well, Tashina Arnold was asked that question, and she answered it. As soon as I can play it, you can check it. There it is right there.
Martin will not be the same without Tommy, so that's why we're going to breathe new life into it. Tommy will never replace Tommy. He will not be replaced if it does happen. And we'll just see what can happen with what the tools that we have. You never know. Just never know. But it's got to be right. It's got to be real. It's got to be organic. It's got to be where we can enjoy it for another 20 years from now.
That's Tashina Arnold talking about how they'll address Tommy and the Martin reboot. So, Usher accuser Quantasia Sharpton had to take an L in court recently. Quantasia and another woman accused Usher of passing herpes on to them and not warning them before they had sex with them. Quantasia wanted to depose the other woman, only identified as Jane Doe, and the woman, Jane Doe, didn't want that to happen. She didn't want to be questioned by Quantasia's lawyers, and so she asked the judge, and the judge says, you don't have to be, you're good. You can't, telling Quantasia and her lawyers, you cannot depose this woman. That's how that's going down. So is this going to ruin Quantasia Sharpton's case? Most people say, nah, probably not. It's just going to have to figure out another way. That's how that is. So, in other tea, Chris Rock has no plans to apologize to Chris Brown for comments he made during his Netflix comedy special. Chris Rock's camp says he just needs thicker skin, and Chris Brown's camp says it was a low blow. It wasn't cool at all. So you can watch the special. I don't want to give anything away, but it had to do with parenting that you can check out if you haven't seen the Netflix special just yet. And speaking of parenting, Robin Thicke is going to be he is a dad for the second time. He's got Julian with Paula Patton. Well, his new girlfriend, April Love Geary, gave him a baby girl. Baby Mia Love Thicke was born over the weekend. He posted about it. And all these stories, you can read more about at krb.com. Tiffany Haddish has a Netflix deal that most of us didn't know about. She hadn't really announced it yet. Somebody posted on Twitter saying that if Tiffany Haddish were to get a Netflix deal, she needs to thank Monique, because it's Monique who's probably paving the way for a lot of black comedians, female comedians probably, to get a deal. And that's when Tiffany spilled the tea about her getting a deal with Netflix. She goes, it's not a big deal, but it's enough for me right now. And then Monique jumped in and says, you know what? You got nothing to apologize for. It's all good. All good. Nothing but love for you. So there you go. Remember, it was like last month that 50 Cent said that he made $7 million off of Bitcoin. He forgot he had some Bitcoin and he made $7 million off of it. Well, the bankruptcy judge, he filed for bankruptcy a while back. The bankruptcy judge wanted clarification on that. And 50 Cent, we were just playing. That never happened. He said in a sworn statement in court, I didn't get $7 million from Bitcoin. That didn't happen at all. So we'll see. So that's just some of the tea we're spilling for you today. And Patricia Mack, how you doing? Everything good? Good to see you. And Marla's in the house. And James Bailey's in the house. And Alicia's in the house. So, hey, from St. Louis, how you doing? Very good, very good, very good. So here in Dallas, the Dallas Mavericks hired this African-American woman named Cynthia Marshall to be the interim CEO. Right now, the Mavericks have a huge problem with sexual harassment on the job, and not with the players. Apparently, it went on in the front office. And of course, the owner, Mark Cuban, says, I didn't know anything about it, but we're going to fix it. That's the one he's going with. I can't say whether I believe him or not. I don't know the man. But they hired this woman to clean it up. She came from AT&T and is probably being paid a pretty shiny penny to come be the boss and CEO with the Mavericks. One female was quoted as saying that she felt more safe in the locker room than she felt in the office. So we'll have to see if that. I'm pretty sure that culture will change. Actually, I can't see that staying the same. The president says that if Congress doesn't ban the bump stock things to make semi-automatic weapons automatic, that he will ban them himself. I don't know how he can do that with an executive order. I don't know if he can do that with an executive order. Maybe somebody knows that more than I do. What else is going on here? He hosted the nation's governors for a meeting today, and the governor of Washington State actually told the president a little less time on Twitter and a little bit more work would be really nice, and he wasn't feeling the teachers being armed with guns. I can't see that working because there's just too many variables for a teacher to have a gun. And I understand where the president's coming from. We just can't have one cop in these schools in case something pops off with a gun. You got to have other people with a gun. But if you're a teacher, if you're an African-American teacher holding a gun when the SWAT team walks in, that may not be good for you. I'm just saying. Just saying. So the Supreme Court has refused to hear the president's DACA case, meaning that the way things are will continue for a while. What else is happening? Disney has donated $1 million to the Boys and Girls Club of America STEM program. That's like a technology program for kids. They say it's from the success of the Black Panther movie. I hope they're not telling us that all they're going to donate is $1 million. I don't think so. I think they'll donate more to some other causes, but this may be the first one, but we'll see. And Stacey Dash has filed to run for California's 44th district in Congress, and that includes Compton, and that includes Watts. So Stacey has apparently decided, you know what, this is what I'm doing. Wish me luck. Good luck. That's all I'm saying. So how about you guys? Any comments on any of these stories are more than welcome as we spill the tea on this Monday evening. Happy Monday to you, Barbara. Hope all is well. Hope the weekend was good. But that's the tea I got. Go to our website and get more details on that. Also, while you're there, make sure you sign up to win some tickets to some of our shows that are coming to the DFW, like the Lit Tour with Martin Lawrence and Adele Givens and Jay Farrell and Benchy Brown and JB Smooth. It's going to be at the Verizon Theater on Sunday, May 27th. You sign up to win tickets anytime at krnb.com. So there you go. Kiki, how you doing? Who else is checking in? Marla. Hope everything's good too. So, yeah. So anyway, those are the stories that I had for you today. And hopefully I told you something you didn't know. If I did, if you could share this video, that would be awesome. All right. And that's pretty much it. Okay. So, Tiffany, I guess at some point you're going to quit saying hey and say something else. Is that something we can count on right there? You just keep saying hey. I don't know what to tell you. I hope if I'm saying hey back to you, if that's what you wanted me to say, well, then congratulations. All right. Love you anyway. So, Marla says that Stacey Dash doesn't even want to be black. I don't know if I'm ready to go that far. Isn't Stacey Dash like half black and half Mexican? Something like that? Not that it has anything to do with what you just said. I don't know if I agree with this. She doesn't want to be black, because if you don't want to be black, you don't want to run for Congress and be representing Compton and Watts and North Long Beach, and I believe San Pedro, I think. So, yeah, Barbara, we mentioned a little while ago that Bill Cosby's daughter Ensa died at the age of 44. On Friday is what I'm reading. In Massachusetts, there was some health issues that she had, but they're saying it was kidney failure. TMZ reported that she was in line for a kidney transplant. So thoughts and prayers to Bill. I just can't imagine burying one of my children, but when you have to bury two, wow, that's crazy. That's crazy. So, but that's a tough one, man. Burying your child is not a natural thing that should happen. The natural progression of life is they bury us. But that Bill's lost two children, one to murder, and then Ensa. So remember when it was a big deal when he named all his kids after the letter E? They all their names start with E. Remember that? That was like a huge deal. People were like, well, why did he do that? And report, if I remember right, and you may remember better than me, but he says the E was a salute to the word excellence or something like that. You know, Alicia, I'm sorry that you've gone through that. I cannot imagine. My heart goes out, because I know it cannot, there's no way that can be easy. I just can't, I just cannot imagine. So I was going to tell you something else, but it got away from me, but that's what happens when you get a little older. So Trayvon Martin was murdered by George Zimmerman 6 years ago today. And in some cases, in some ways, it seems like it's been forever since we lost Trayvon Martin. And in some ways, it seems like it was just like, this past weekend. But Trayvon would be 23 years old today if he were still with us. So, Lois Tisha Campbell filed for divorce last week from Dwayne Martin. They've been together 27 years, married for 20. They got 2 boys, 16 and 8. I think Zen and Ezekiel are their names, if I'm not mistaken. And then late last week it came out that she was going to be asking Dwayne for spousal support. Well, of course. Nothing wrong with that. That's part of the process. It's part of the process. A divorce lawyer will tell you we ask for everything and we settle for something. So, it's kind of works its way out like that. So, but yeah, Tisha filed for divorce. I don't know why she filed for divorce. I don't know what was going on. What was the cause of the marriage? I don't even know what she said. In California, all you have to say on a minimum thing is irreconcilable differences, and that covers like a wide range of reasons. But that's all you have to list are those 2 words, and that's good enough, is my understanding. So that's the story with that. What else? You guys got anything else that you want to kick around before I say goodnight for the night? Dinner tonight? What are you guys having? You know what? I haven't felt really good today for some reason, so I may just settle for something easy, like oatmeal. I told my wife last week I had some oatmeal, and she says, "You don't have any food in your house, do you?" My wife lives in St. Louis, and I live here, and but she was like, "You don't have any food in your house, huh? Do I need to send you a meal?" I'm like, "No, I felt like eating oatmeal. I just felt like eating oatmeal. What do you want from me? Just let me. Can I eat my oatmeal in peace, please? Thank you. I got food." I thought she was going to make me like, because these days you can say, "Show me on your phone," because we FaceTime every night. Now, if she'd have asked me that, I'd have told her, "No, I'm not doing that." But I have food, and I resent the fact that you didn't believe me. And then I'd have laughed. So, Tiffany, thank you for saying, "Yeah, it's not too bad. Just some issues with well, yeah, you don't have to worry about that." So, Alicia says that Dwayne and Tisha were one couple she thought would last. A couple of years ago, they went through some severe financial issues that also, I think they got caught. I know they got accused of hiding some assets, for whatever reason. I'm not sure if that contributed to the end of the marriage or not, but Tisha did say when she announced that they were divorcing, she said, she asked for privacy. She says that Dwayne told her, "We will always be a family." So it's nice when you can have that, when you can have if you're going to divorce, if it can be as peaceful as possible, because especially when you got kids, because kids, a lot of times they think it's their fault, and it's never their fault. It's never a child's fault that their parents get divorced. Sometimes for whatever reason they think it is. Maybe the last argument they heard their parents have was about them, so they think that was the reason. It's never the reason, right? When my first wife and I divorced, my mother used to always tell me, "You guys need to find some common ground for the sake of your daughter." And we did. It took a long time. I'll admit it took a long, it was a long, painful journey, but we got there. And then she eventually remarried, and to a wonderful man who I always thanked for filling in the cracks, because he was there with my daughter. And of course I was living somewhere else. So and I always thanked him for that. We were always very cool. And I just salute that man and say thank you again. You're in Georgetown, Guyana, Lauren? Wow. What time is it in Georgetown, Guyana right now? What time is it? Lamar says he's going to St. Louis this weekend. You want to bring in? Yes, bring my wife back. Can you bring my wife back? Can you put her in your car and just bring her back? Don't worry about it. I'll get her back to St. Louis. Just bring her back for me, man. I miss her, so bring her back, man. So That would be, now if you showed up here at the radio station with my wife in your car, I would probably pass the hell out, right? You ever make like an outlandish request and the next thing you know, it happens? This is kind of like how my wife and I, we lived in St. Louis and we were at a Cardinal baseball game. And earlier that day I had an appearance at a jewelry store. And did 2 hours there. So we're at the baseball game sitting with one of the Cardinals' wives, one of the players' wives, me and myself, and you guys in St. Louis might remember Doc Winter. We're sitting there at the game and stuff, and my wife and this wife of one of the Cardinals players were talking about, I don't know what they were talking about, but then my wife mentions that I was at a jewelry store earlier, and the wife says, well, why didn't he bring you back an engagement ring? And my wife looks at me and she goes, why didn't you bring me back an engagement ring? And I reached in my pocket and go, well, then here. And I gave her the ring. That's how I gave her the ring, right? And she just looked at me, and she looked at the box, and she looked at me, and she looked at it. I said, open the damn box, man. Come on. Like, you want, I wasn't going to give it to her like that, but since she brought it up, I was like, well, hell, this will save me from getting on the knee. I just here. Just here. Now understand something about me. I'm not Mr. Romantic. Never have been, never will be, and she loves me anyway. I don't know. She lost a bet. I don't know what happened with that. So I gave her the ring, and she looked at Doc Winter, who's these days is a radio executive in our business, and he says, I didn't know anything about this, and I'm pissed because I didn't tell him either. Because I wasn't ready to give her the ring, but since she brought it up, I said here. So yeah, it's 8:15 p.m. right now in Georgetown, Guyana. Monday or Tuesday. So anyway, yeah, Alicia, pretty wow. It was a pretty wow moment. Yeah. And Lamar says he's going to bring the wife. So thank you very much, Lamar. I appreciate you saying that. So that's how I gave the engagement ring to my wife. Is I just handed it to her at a Cardinal baseball game. Since she brought it up, how come you didn't bring me an engagement ring back? Here you go. Careful what you ask for, right? That's the deal. Agnes, most men are not. You know what? I don't know about that, Agnes. I think most men is a pretty broad brush. I'll just say that. I'm not going to disagree with you. Most men, that's a pretty broad brush, but I understand where you're coming from. You know, I've just never been that guy, right? I don't have a need to, wait a minute, let me look right here. All right, I'm going to have to go in a second. I just never been my thing. I've never been Mr. Romantic, right? Right. My wife, on the other hand, is very romantic, and I know she'll never admit it to me, but it's Monday, Lauren, in Guyana. Okay, cool. Monday at 8:15. So you're only a couple hours ahead of us then. But she'll never admit it, that it bothers her, but I'm sure on some level it probably does. But I love her to death. That she knows, because I'm always talking about her. So when she came up here to visit one time, they were like, about time you came up here, because he talks about you all the time. I love my wife. That's where the problem is with men, and we'll get into that one day. If men keep telling everybody how much they love their wife, they'll never cheat on their wife, because they're the more you say something, the more you believe it. I mean, I love my wife anyway, but I just talk about the fact how crazy I am about her. I tell my kids all the time. I say, your mother's everything to me, man. Good Lord, she's everything. I love that woman to death. And my kids probably get tired of me saying that, but it's true. So there you go. Anyway, I got to go, because my song's getting ready to end. You guys have a fantastic evening, all right? And I'll talk to you guys hopefully tomorrow. We'll do it again. Follow me on social media, Tony Scott Media. Go to youtube.com/thisandthatmedia. Follow my YouTube channel so I can get back into the monetary program. I need some more subscriptions, so help me out there. Have a great night, and thanks again.